Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest Reef Developer AMA. I have Prakarsh Bathak joining me from Spheron Protocol. Prakarsh, welcome. How are you?
Amazing, Derek. Glad to be here. And yeah, an absolute pleasure for the AMA and the workshop today with Reef.
Yeah, great. I'm glad we were able to set some time aside and get you onto our social channels and help educate our developer community about Spheron Protocol, the decentralized storage protocol, and how it works and all that. Um, Speaking of which, can you tell us a little bit about maybe your journey into working at Spheron and then about the protocol, please?
Sure. So about myself, I started my journey as a stand-up comedian, and then I joined to become a become a dev, and then I came into developer advocacy. And yeah, I love being part of blockchain itself because it is one of the way it is revolutionizing things, but one step at a time, and a very technology centric way. And though what Spheron is trying to do, Spheron is an aggregation layer. It acts as an aggregation layer, and it helps you to actually experience decentralization in a very easy few steps. And that's what we are, and we have been here for quite a while, like I guess more than 2 years now. And yeah, we are happy to be part of this AMA and happy to tell you about Spheron all along.
Good stuff. Good. That sounds terrific. I have as my I moonlight as a podcast host, so I need to pick on this thread. Stand-up comedian, like you went from being to working
Yeah,
as
like
a Vrel type person at Spheron
yeah.
Protocol.
No, I think my me bending towards technology was very natural, and I felt that this should not be limited to stand-up comedy itself because the real comedy is goat. I'm just kidding. So,
If you don't comment it,
so
yeah, it can be a comedy for sure.
so I thought of like I was more reluctant on getting into just comedy, and then I came into technology itself. I love technology. I started as like in blockchain. I started with researching on it. I have written research paper on transaction systems and on dexes. So yeah, I try to mix a blend with making communities because humor is the real gel between things in any of the communities you say. Like if you are funny, you're gonna make it. So
That's pretty much my MO. So that's maybe that's what, more than anything. Okay, well, I'll save any more questions about your stand-up comedy career for later because I can send you a in the meantime, let's learn more about Spheron Protocol and how. Let's I know you've got a workshop or presentation you'd like to go through. Bring that up
yeah.
and walk us through.
Uh, so the very first point I want to explain to everyone or make them understand what Spheron is trying to do, how Spheron is acting as an aggregation layer. Like for example, if you want to put like if you say there is an application you're using every day. In this scenario, let's say it's Instagram, or let's say it's Google, or it's say any platform you're using right now, and which is sheerly a Web 2 platform, right? For that Web 2 platform, the code bases are already set in different VCS, like let's say Bitbucket or GitHub or GitLab. You have the code bases with you, and those are live on centralized servers, right? Everybody else, like there is single point exception for it, and that basically lies to the company itself. And let's say big conglomerates kind of own it at this scenario. Now, the solution for was that we decentralize the front end and we decentralize the back end as well. So this is where Spheron came into play. Spheron acts as an aggregation layer for multiple chains and for multiple nodes, for multiple tools out there, and also for your front end code too. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm not going to start with a presentation because you know what, presentations are boring. Let's get on it. Let's experience the product ourselves and let's see if you like this. And if you like this, do drop a yes or do drop a no in the chat because I would know your response, how you're liking it. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen.
There we
Hopefully,
go. I was going to
you
say
can see
this
my
worked
screen. Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So now this is our landing page, how it looks like, and it says that you can just deploy your full stack application onto decentralized cloud, but in just 3 clicks. Are we lying or are we serious? Let's find out. And you can just at the very first of any product you see, there it's very straightforward. And once you click on deploy now, you get an option to get log into your Spheron account. And the fun part is you can do it with you can easily do it with any of the major VCS players out there. It's GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. I'm just
Just
gonna like
y-
if you
you've used this acronym for a couple of times. I just want to make sure people understand VCS, version control system, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay. The
So
versions of code, basically, in this case.
exactly, you don't push anything malicious to your product. So the one of the ways to uh, implement defy it. I'm gonna just gonna click on continue with GitHub, and you get this page itself, right? You see there is a simple dashboard. There is nothing right now. Uh, it's very straightforward. You see a dashboard, and once you log in, you would get an option to create an organization. Creating an organization is super easy. Let's say Reef, AMA, and my name can be Derek in this scenario. Yeah, there goes your identity. So, yeah.
Thanks. Identity theft in progress. Where's my
So,
two-factor authentication?
so once we click on new project, right? As I'm telling you, the beauty of this product, all you need to do is just click on new project, and you can choose the you can choose the GitHub repository you want to host to. So now this specific GitHub repository, this can be anything. Like for example, this can be any public repository you have been working on. If it's a DeFi app or it's a DEX or even if it's your NFT collection, right? If you're thinking of all those technologies to be used and to be implemented, you can actually go out and you can test Spheron itself. Now in this scenario, once I log in and I have to select my repository, all the repositories which are where I have given the access to Spheron, you can just easily see it on the console over here. And I'm just going to choose a simple Linktree app. Now, this application you can create by yourself. I hope you know what a Linktree app is, right? I think there
I know
are
what
times you
Linktree
have
is. Yes.
seen, yeah, there are times you have seen a company or a person indexing their different social accounts or indexing their different social redirects. You can just do it like with Spheron, and you can definitely do that for free. Like why we are doing this for free? Because we want you to understand decentralization and how you can do it yourself, right? So in this scenario, as I don't have a pro account with me and I have a basic account with me, I can just go on and I can just click on Filecoin. In
Okay.
Now, once I click on Filecoin, you get different options where you can add configuration before deploying. So let's say like the framework of the app. So we use an automatic framework selector, and that selector basically takes like whatever framework I want to push into, and then the branch I want to put out. So if I have multiple branches, and if I want to test the hosting of a specific branch onto IPFS, I can just select that branch and also the root directory where my front end code is. Now, after that, you get an option of build and output settings, right? So it's very straightforward in this. Like it's yarn install, yarn build, and build. And you can add your environment variables whenever you want to. So you have that option as well. And also the node engine. Node engine is dependent on where have you have built your project to. Like is it the most latest version of node you have been using, or anything according to your choice or according to your project. And
So this
then
actually
all I need
feels
to
really similar to Vercel or something like that, where you're bringing your code in. So it's not just storage protocol. This feels more like a very simple storage or app storage and hosting platform.
Yeah, you can say that. You can definitely say that it
Okay.
the aggregation part over here is very similar to one of the tools which are out there and like multiple tools out there. And once you have to do that, all you need to do is just click on deploy. Now, while clicking on deploy, you would see that the whole instance gets created and gets pushed onto IPFS itself.
Hmm.
And if you're facing any problem, you can actually just use this.
Yeah, I think we have it handled. Mitrasish. We're okay.
Yeah, we we got
If
it.
between Harsh and I, we don't know what's going on, I think we're in bigger trouble.
So yeah, and once you've done that, you see that all the packages and instances are getting built, and you see like you can create the production build is just almost ready, and you can see the deployment is in progress. Now, for this part was specifically for your front end. So let's say this is your front end, and this is your front end code, which gets into decentralization. Though there is a whole lot of backend code which you need to take care of, and this backend code, the front end code, you get a spinning CID over here, and which is your IPFS link too. So once you click on
Right.
this link, you would see that this specific link is a Linktree app. Now you must be wondering, like, okay, this was Spheron's Linktree app. Like, can I create something with mine, or can I go ahead and start something which I want to? So let's say today we are in sheer luck, and we have something which is like quite amazing, which we have been working on, and which is Spheron CLI. So you have the two options over here. You can go ahead and you can do it with the GUI, right? GUI is a dashboard. It's basically built with Spheron, and you can just easily do it and host any link you want to, and it would look like this. Now, what happens if you want to do it through a CLI itself?
I don't know. When I have tools like this, I usually use the GUI instead. You were talking about code being comedy earlier. My bash scripting, I'm sure some people laugh. Just it was always one of my weaknesses. Now I
Uh,
can run circles around most people in DNS, but you don't want me scripting any bash shell or bash script right for you.
uh, Let me just share the link with you. Like, I can share this link in the chat,
Sure.
and you can install this link. Like, you can install the CLI by this specific. You can reach out to this package, and you can go ahead and
Oh, cool.
install it.
All right.
And I'll show you
I'll
how
go
you
play
can do
around.
it with your CLI too.
Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, we see your
Uh,
terminal.
Thank you.
So while you're doing that, I'm just looking through the npm library. You've got a README file here. So seems pretty simple. npm install the Spheron CLI. Once you have that, you'll be able to use, I guess, subcommands
Yeah.
or flags and things like that to Spheron create dApp. You've got an init subcommand with all sorts of flags like protocol, project name, the path, the framework you're using. There's an init subcommand as well. So seems pretty standard in a good way, in the sense that you can create, you can set up, a bunch of parameters, you can publish, you can also upload, using this CLI, the create organization that you just went through on the GUI, and also log in. So looks pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. And once you put in like Xenon Create app, you also get the option to choose from different templates itself. Right now, like for example, we have a portfolio template with us. You can just go ahead and choose that template, and you can name it
Nice.
identity theft again. And then I choose the protocol I want to push to, and you can see that it has been initialized, right? So we have created it, and I can just go ahead and I can and I can use the different commands which I have over it. Like it can be initiated with Spheron publish, Spheron upload, and create an organization, and even Spheron login.
While we're waiting for that, um, IPFS is the underlying storage protocol for Filecoin. Filecoin being like the paid incentivized layer for IPFS, and Arweave is a similar protocol, but their big difference is that they promise permanent storage because Arweave is run by a nonprofit, which is incentivized to be a nonprofit and not worry so much about the profit motive, and therefore they can ensure, or they feel like they can ensure permanent storage. Why is Arweave part of the pro plan, but Filecoin, which is also an incentivized paid layer, part of the free plan?
I think because like we have put this as a free plan itself because first we want people to adopt to things, and then RV is something which is very specific in terms of permanent storage, and we want people to like use something which is quite at scale, but it has some faster renditions while working on, and
Hmm.
RV is also costly in terms of storing. So yes, this is one of the reasons because we have put RV into the Pro plan itself.
Okay, makes sense. If it's more expensive, then I understand that.
And today I have got an amazing thing which we can simply do with like I have told you the part where front end you can do it with GUI and CLI too. And also there is something which we are going to do is we are going to switch to compute as well. Now for people to
Oh,
understand
nice.
compute, most of the applications and most of the things actually run through compute itself. And see, as you can see that there are multiple clusters which I have created and multiple cluster which I have initiated. In this cluster, like in this specific, I would create a new cluster and you get multiple options to do it. Now, these options are, we have put it to like, we have nimbled it down to very simple steps where you can have the Docker Hub and you can select from the marketplace app itself, right? So in like if you have Dockerized your application, you can just go ahead and you can import from Docker Hub itself. You can put in the image and you can give the name to it and you can tag with the, whatever versions you have built this upon, and you can just click on next. This is one of the most easy way to do it, though you also get an option to select a marketplace app as well. So in this scenario, like you see that there are multiple apps and there are multiple chains we support, and over here you can see Reef
Yes, I see the
as
most
well.
important one right there. It's on my screen.
Yeah. So as you can see that I can choose different plans, and I can really specify what plan and whatever usage I'm choosing on for I'm choosing for like for my need and for whatever I've been building on. So like let's say Ventus Micro, right? I have a small need, or because I'm running a low traffic website, or I'm running a very less traffic website, I can choose according to it. As it goes up and you get an option to choose from any of these programs, I would say let's choose this. You get the region as well, you can select and wherever you want to, and you can just click on deploy. And once you do, you uh, get a debit information from your wallet.
Do you, I'm always interested in product naming. Do you have any sense of why the words like Ventus and Glacis and like the were used, or just for fun?
So I'll tell you something which happened just today. So our design team was changing the pricing page, and I was there, and they were telling me that we have multiple plans, and we are just keeping these plans itself over here. And it was named Ventus, and it was named like Ventus Micro and Nano and all those different iterations. And I thought like, does it mean like like a coffee cup? Like, believe me, I was thinking, yeah, if
Oh,
you know, like if you
Ventus
get a
Venti.
venti, yeah, yeah, right. Does it mean that?
Yes,
I didn't
Ventus.
ask them like why this is called Ventus, but this is one of the reasons. Like, I just sat back and thought of it. And over here, what you see that all this instance and getting like instance getting made and choose upon, this is all happening on like we have built this on top of Akash network, and as you can see
Oh,
that
I was gonna
it
ask.
has,
That's cool.
yeah. So it was like it is being provisioned right now, and once you see that we have been allotted our DSAQ number, we got a bit, and okay, we already got a provider. Now this is running quite fast. Like if you really wanted to choose yourself or do it yourself, it's very easy to do. And you can see that these are multiple internal and external ports, which you can actually white label and you can put onto, and you also get the deployment logs to this as well, right?
Very cool.
So this is one of the most straightforward usage of Saron. Like whenever I am building something or whenever I'm building an application, uh, I'll say the application sounds yeah. Whenever you're building an application, you can just go ahead and you can choose, and you can also like in terms of your internal port, you can white label this as per your domain, and yeah, you can select the instance where you want to white label to, and you can enter the URL. You can add subdomains to this as well, and also you would be like you would see the activity of your uh, you would be seeing the activity. Now I'll tell you something fun. Now, right now our team is watching this, and the internal discussion is why have we named it Ventus? So I'm just like looking at our Discord right
You're
now, like it's
welcome.
a question. So
I'm so glad I could
thanks,
get that
Derek,
internal
to
debate started. Mission
pushing us
accomplished.
to that direction of uh, getting into this self-realization. That's why we have our compute
I mean,
named
listen,
Ventus itself.
I've worked with teams who, with other projects who are like, why is this the name? And they're like, honestly, we just thought it was cool. Like, there's no real reason. Like, it's not every project has like a really good story about how they came up with their name or how they came up with product names and stuff like that. Honestly, the thing that I'm really appreciating right now is is just how decentralized this whole thing is. We've we're distributing this stream across multiple platforms at once, but um, you've taken so on the storage side you have IPFS and RWE storage protocols that you're allowing developers to deploy their code to for storage and all that, and then on the compute side you've provided a Vulture or DigitalOcean like experience on top of Akash network, which is a decentralized and distributed compute platform similar to Amazon AWS or Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and I'm that's really really cool. DNS at its core is fairly decentralized, certainly distributed. It gets less decentralized as you get higher up in the tiers because you have certain root DNS providers. But I don't think we're ready to fully decentralize DNS yet. But hopefully one day, this actually could be running on Handshake or something similar, so that it's or at least Handshake is supported, so that it really is a more decentralized version of DNS at least. So I'm enamored at this point of like just how easy you're making accessing decentralized protocols. I think that's terrific.
And I think this was the need of the hour itself, right? Because there are so many dApps and applications being created, and people tend to figure out like uh, people tend to understand that yes, like we the reason we even support Handshake, and this is one of the
Hmm.
reasons like uh, yeah, so I think which tumble downs to the reason of why we support decentralization to its core, and even making it very useful from Web 2 to Web 3 migrated user and how they can easily do this. So yes, and also like in terms of what I showed you, like I created a new cluster, an instance, and right now we have added ENS support as well. So, and which is something I want to push out, which is that we have been also involved in creating FNS. It's something which is part of our whole marketplace ecosystem, and you can just go and check that out yourself. It is one of the things which we have been working on, and it is right now uh, out there. Now, so let me tell you about how we have been doing this through our community, how we have been building this product, and how we are moving in different markets in different regions, and how we are doing that. So, just a second, I'll share.
What does FNS stand for? Because the first thing that comes up as a Canadian is the First Nations Summit.
It's
I'm pretty
Filecoin
sure that's
naming
not.
service.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. It's amazing that once you add humor to things like this, this becomes quite interesting itself. So, how are we accelerating different dApps with Web3 infra? So, right now, you just saw decentralized hosting and you saw compute too. Now, in terms of Web3 storage as well. So, how do you use these Spheron Web3 storage? And also, just a second, let me open that and so yeah, you just saw how you can easily go and decentralize any of the front end you want to for your for your dApp, and you can use compute itself. In this scenario, I used one of the nodes from Reef, and what you say why this is needed right now, because currently if I have to start including Web3 infra onto my dApp or anything I am building right now, you see that there are different learning curves. For example, if I have to do it for Filecoin, or for example, if I have to do it for let's say Akash or Arweave or any of these situations, every technology protocol chain has a different learning curve itself, and it really affects your life cycle and your sprints involving that number of hours being put on to learning to a technology which won't be used to a scale every day, right? And there are very less automations and tool when I say Spheron is really helping you in automation, starting from our own escrow wallet, you can easily pay in any of the tokens we support you want to, and also in terms of understanding there is very less content for using Web3 infra as such, and people are creating it. I'm not saying that people have not been creating this, but this is one of the most pivotal things which we have been trying to work on. Now, what Spheron is doing that, and until then, just a second, I will put you to Spheron, like how you can use Spheron SDK, and I'll just send you the link. You can add this in the chat.
Got it.
Is there a way I can make a banner of this in this stream? Can we get a banner of this?
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
if
for sure.
it was,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I can take that. I can take care of that. There you go.
Okay, amazing. So what Spheron is trying to do and what problem Spheron is really shaping today, in terms of aggregating into Web3 infra providers. As you saw, we have multiple providers and we have so many partners, Reef being one of them. We are bridging the token gap, and it is a no-code tool and automation itself. And it's you can basically do built-in grant distribution and and add incentivization model too, with we are creating content every day in this direction so that people don't have any issues while using the uh, web3 infra itself. This is one of the videos which reflects how we do it. It's something which is a very fun video, I would say, in terms of showcasing what we are really trying to do, how user is trying to store data, and what Spheron is trying to do with that data, and how we are pushing it from the aggregation layer itself. So yeah, it's a quite fun video. Really explains what truly we are trying to do, in terms of decentralization itself. And you can see cute little icons of IPFS, Filecoin, Akash, and Avi.
Yeah.
So yeah, the paid one.
Cool.
So yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So 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 something I would put down to like our achievement itself. Like the developers which have been signed up on the platform are more than like right now. These numbers are quite old. Like we are at around 3,700 users as of today, and we have like more than 17,000 unique web deployments with more than 150 gigabytes of bandwidth being served in just 2 months. And it's something which is increasing every day. And we have more than 100 plus unique domain which are attached on us. And I've told you how you can do it with your own deployment itself. So just go to domains, and all you need to do is just attach it. 50 plus active compute, and also we have uh, distributed more than 2.5K AKTs in the freemium model. Now,
Okay.
what are we really thinking at this moment of time? Like, why are we here? Why are we so much excited about getting in everyone into Web3 infra space and be the next tool which is being used by a million developers out there? We would be onboarding more than 50,000 devs. And one of the initiatives I would like to tell, and I would like everyone to join in, is called Dapathon. So Dapathon is a very simple hackathon, which is like a hybrid hackathon, which would be working on, which we want developers out there to build something with Web3 infra with our partners and use the Web3 infra. Dapathon is one of those stages where you can do that. And just putting my link over here so that Derek can share it with you, and you can all be a part of the Dapathon itself, because it's a hybrid hackathon. You can build for a week, you can push out anything, and we'll help you to reach the PMF stage, and we can help you uh, reach to the main net or any where you deem to be with your DApp application using Spheron. We're going to help you to do that. And also, like this is one of the things, and we're coming up with Spheron University, one of the initiatives. The Spheron community is very well knit in. Like whenever you do it, like even our Discord is very much developer centric and build focused. And we are onboarding, as you say, we are onboarding new partners, and like we are getting into launching an infra template for a marketplace itself. So these are one of the top factors which we have been working on for past, let's say, past year. And right now, like answering the question for why power, like why is Spheron itself, right? Whenever you buy something, or for example, whenever you buy the most simplest stuff, your answer is like, why do I need it? Why do I want to use it? And why
Right.
it's like, is there a use of it? Like whenever we go out, people say like, should I put like why decentralized hosting? Or why decentralized compute? It's working well on AWS, or it's working well on GCP, or wherever you have pushed it onto. Understand one thing, that whenever we are using centralized tool for creating something which is decentralized application itself, this is one of the most contradictory terms in both ends, right? That I am advocating for decentralization while using all these centralized products myself or my DApp. So in this scenario, Spheron is chain agnostic. So whatever chain you want to choose to and you want to build on, you can easily choose it. We have the
As long as it's
CI/CD
Reef.
automation. So we have the CI/CD pipeline automation, and we have a very powerful CDN. Also, we support your like your ENS to your centralized domain support. And if you are familiar with JavaScript, you are also familiar that JavaScript has like so many frameworks. We support more than 30 frameworks for it, and we are inherent to like DDoS attack mitigation. And the most important thing, we support on-chain payments, and we have fiat on-ramp being created and being built real soon. So it's a one-stop app, and it's a one-stop dApp for you to just decentralize anything you are working on today. It can be as easy as a simple portfolio or a link tree, which you can go out and check yourself, or it can be as complex as some DEX or DeFi, which is truly for for a specific reason, or even your NFT art collection. So
Yeah, I think that's
thank you
really
so
cool.
much, everyone. Like this has been amazing. Now I would love to get some questions from you, Derek, and I would love to understand some questions. Like if people have questions on this itself.
Yes, yeah. If you we didn't get any Spheron specific questions ahead of time. So if you have any now after watching this presentation for the last 40 minutes or so, happy to pose them to Prakash and make sure that he has a chance to answer them. To the points you were making about developer education, I agree. It's definitely been there are some ecosystems who do it better than others, and it's definitely something where we've seen an opportunity to improve things. And so Lucas and I, who were two of the people who worked Reef's booth last year at ETH Denver 2022. We've been collaborating recently on a new set of videos. Like it's almost going to be like a start to finish course on how to bring a DApp that you've already built on Ethereum or an Ethereum testnet over to Reef, because it's been, while we say it's really easy, and it is, there's no real resource to show you just how easy it is. So he and I have been collaborating on that. I've kind of set up the framework, and then he's been coming in with like some of the reality as a developer, which obviously I'm not fully aware of, because I don't need to deploy my own Solidity smart contracts anywhere, let alone on Reef. So that's been terrific, and so we're working on that, and we'll have that out to the community as soon as each part is ready. We're going to release it in parts, and part of at least a long-term goal that I have here at Reef is to actually have Reef University built up. And I think this will be like one of those foundational pieces of, you have something deployed on Ethereum, Sepolia, the testnet. Here's how to actually bring it over and how to deploy it and add the Reef chain extension to your front end and stuff like that. So it's like you said, it's something that's missing. We keep telling people how easy or like it's a lot simpler to build blockchain apps than some people might make you think it is. But we need to do a better job of showing them just how easy it is. So with people in the know, creating tutorials and lessons and stuff like that.
So this is my question to you. Like in Reef community, have people started creating content or just to get on to the trail of creating content by community itself? Like has that started yet?
Yes, but not from a developer perspective. That's
Okay.
not what we've really encouraged up until now or incentivized in any way, but it is something we want to, and that's something that I think you'll see us start over the next few weeks. Is definitely encouraging more developer related content to be created by the community. Vulture, which is an infrastructure as a service platform, a compute and storage platform, they do a really good job of this. But it's you could recycle the same thing from DigitalOcean and just put screenshots from Vulture in front, right? Like it's not that hard
Yeah.
because DigitalOcean has done a really good job of that over the years as well. But that's all very Web 2. It's incredibly centralized in whatever data centers DigitalOcean builds or leases. Same with Vulture or Microsoft or Google or Amazon, etc. And to me, that's all a single point of failure, especially on a regulation or legislation side of things, or a banking risk side of things, as we've seen, recently, where regulators could say it's not a good idea to customers who do this on your platform, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 like things start falling, and then you've gone from 6 or 7 or 10 options down to 0. At least one with. Whereas if you start building with Spheron, and I think that was a Reef node that's in the Spheron marketplace and all that, now I think you reduce your regulatory risk, perceived or real, greatly from the get-go, and then and you're in, I think, in a much better long-term position without having to do mental gymnastics about like, where should I host? Don't worry about where should you host. Like, Spheron is kind of helping, is using Akash Network's mechanisms for bidding on jobs and stuff like that for you. And so, you don't have to worry about it. You have to pick your region, but like, once you've picked your region, somebody else is going to take that on for you, and they're already aware of the risks because they are already participating in a Kosh network as an infrastructure provider, so they're well aware of how this all works, and they're going tokens and all the rest. So I think it's a much smarter way or much smarter decision to just, if you haven't started building yet, use Spheron network and all the tools, all the resources, all the other protocols that it gives you access to, instead of, should I use Amazon? Should I use Google? Can I get some credits? Blah, blah, blah. Just grab some tokens, pay with the tokens, right? Like maybe it's not free, but if you got it in an airdrop, it was essentially free money, and you can go spend some airdrop tokens instead. If you're getting the ARB airdrop, set something that Spheron accepts and go spend that money on Spheron instead.
And that would be like more useful for you, like something you're building and pushing out, and not
Yeah,
buying stuff which is irrelevant to you at after some point of time. So yeah, and also like this is one of the most pivotal stuff for developers itself. These technologies have been used for over the years because there is so much content out there being made for these technologies and already being there. People actually are they welcome a new technology coming up, and they welcome a new technology being made. Though they need to be aware about it, and
yeah,
they need to be they need to understand why do you really need it. So yeah, Derek, Reef has been doing a great job. I think I have been following you guys since more than a year now. So yeah, like amazing. So yeah, thank you so
terrific.
much for having us on this.
Yeah, my pleasure. I haven't seen any questions come in, which means you must have done an amazing job showcasing the powers of your own protocol and all the tools it gives you access to. I'm going to call that a win, and and we'll leave it there. Pepe, Crypto My Blockchain, Lucas, Slay, Nomadic Mohit, Pierre, Luis, Mr. R, Reef Dabverse. That's everybody. B, thank you all for commenting, and thanks to everybody else for watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. And more to the point of using decentralized protocols, I love Restream. It works really well, but I am looking at using something like LivePeer for future iterations of this stream and other ones that I host. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. Prakash, thank you for being here and for showing us Spheron Protocol and how it works. And we'll see you next time on the next Reef Developer AMA.
Thank you so much, Derek, for having me, and it was a great pleasure to be here. And yeah, have a good one.
Good stuff. Bye, everybody.